Welcome to Caching Waves. Just wanted to give a trade update on HBAR. I put up a video on Thursday and wanted to show you how that ended up working out. First of all, let's go over what I posted Thursday. Here's that video. First of all, I'm targeting at least the 618, entering right here, stop at this low. At this high, you can see it's pretty much the same risk reward as the longer term count in one single trade using leverage. So that's my current trade option. As you can see, we pretty much hit that to a T. We didn't have much risk here. It took off pretty quickly. Got a nice 3-to-1. I actually switched to linear scale after. My initial targets were on log scale just because they were a little closer. But when I saw how impulsive we were going here, I switched to linear and targeted a little higher. So I ended up getting about 3.5 to 1. Got an extra 1% out of that. So where does that put us now? If you want a really in-depth video about where I think HBAR is going over the next 6 months to a year, I suggest watching my last video. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description if you want to see that. But right now we're focusing in on the smaller time frame, just scalping over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll give you that expectation just right now. First of all, we had a wave up in a double zigzag, WXY, for our first A wave. And after that, I expect the correction to at least take 1/3 the time, this area here, as the length of our first A wave. And that would take us to a minimum of Tuesday, September 5th. You can see there, that's a minimum. Now this isn't a requirement, it's more of a guideline. That's just what I like to see as a correction after a pretty long move, at least a 33%. I just found that to be the case majority of the time, even though not a rule, more of a guideline. I use it myself for my trading, and you'll find this one little guideline will really improve your trading from getting in too early or exiting too early, etc. Now, first of all, that means we should be trending here we should be consolidating here sideways for the next couple weeks. And my anticipation, you can watch the last video too, is that we either get a expanded flat in this area, in which case we're going to be working on our C wave of our smaller B wave before we come down for another wave to complete. That would give us a running flat or expanded if we make a new low. And then I expect us to make our move for 10 to 11 cents. Again, look at the bigger video, link in the description for larger time frames. And we'll be targeting 10 to 11 cents after this consolidation. Right now I'm expecting a running flat, but nothing says we need to get that. And I will be also protecting other options by the trade I'm currently in. So we can also get a triangle here, sideways consolidation, and we go like this. Lots of options available before we go. We can also get a regular flat where we just make a new high, come down, trend completely sideways. Or we can even, from this area, get a zigzag and make new lows. That, I think, is the most unlikely scenario because we'd be breaking or attempting to break support here. I don't think that will happen. So I'm currently targeting the running flat. Now my targets for that will be minimum the 1.05 length of A, which is this wave coming down here. This wave here, I expect at least 1.05 to qualify as a running flat. And I'll get you that measurement here. Again, we'll use which scale is closer for targeting. So I start here, up, back, Make sure we're right on the edge of the candles here. Okay, we have that. Our targeting is minimum 1.05. The length of the first A, 1.05. And then our most common targets are the 1.236 to the 1.382. And we can go all the way to 1.618, but it's very rare. Anything past that, we would have an impulse or a higher complex correction. So that's my target minimum, 7.71 cents on linear and 7.73. So we'll go with 7.71. So I already entered this trade. You can get pretty much the same price as me at this point. I entered in at the 382 of the A wave in the B wave. So I entered here. 50, and we'll use the 618, and we'll switch that to white so we can follow it properly. So we have our A wave down in a 3-wave move. So we'd look for 3 waves up for our B wave above the 1.05, at least the 1.05, and then either a 3-wave move down or 5 waves for a running flat. Or if it's 3 waves we get back, it'll be a WXY. But nothing to worry about at this point. We're just targeting the C wave of the B wave. This is the current B wave we're moving on. So we have our A wave working on our B wave, coming up for our C wave. And it doesn't really matter. A either ended here and we have a expanded flat here, where we come down, come up for 3. I'm leaning that way because it looks like 3 waves in here. 3-wave B, and either a double zigzag where this would be a WXY, or this is a ending diagonal where it's an ABC. Either way doesn't really make much of a difference. So I propose our A wave is there. This would be the top of our third because we have divergence, and then a quick little 5. And then we have, yeah, that works. So my A wave is here. So that's where I want to measure from for our targets. Again, targeting 1-to-1 of this A wave, see if it matches up with our targets for our expanded B wave. So we can get a little close here. Again, I'll make this white so we know it's our smaller trade we're targeting. So we would be looking for the 1-to-1. That doesn't quite get us there. The 1.236, 1.382, and 1.618. So somewhere in this area we would be targeting. But I will take profit at the 1-to-1, or sorry, the 1.05 of this A wave. It's the closest target. It's your safest bet with the current trade available. So let's take a look at our risk reward. If you got in right away, I got in right at the 382 here at 6.205, pretty much the same price. And I did have my stop a little higher as well. Yeah, I put my stop right at this level because it's below all this support, which it should work in our favor. Here's my highlighted here. I expect it to hold above this area, so I put my stop right at this low here at 5.46. We're targeting that. Almost 2-to-1 on this trade. It's a nice little setup here. So that's my expectation over the next couple days. Around Tuesday we should get there. Now there's a possibility we come a little bit lower, come down to the 618 even. If this is not the A and we have to move the A over, even though there's 3 waves here, so I expect it to be complete, we could get a complex correction where we just extend a little longer in time before we get that move, which would just be something like this. Come down and then go for our C. You make a new low, come down, go for our C. So that's what I'm looking at. That's where my stops are, right below this level. I expect this area to hold. Anything below that, that would change my count to expect that potentially this could be a double zigzag, or we come down like this if we go any lower. So that is my current trade setup. And after we get this, I will update you guys. My target is at 7.71 right here at the 1.05. That's where I will 100% be taking my profit, and then looking for a rejection in this area. Looking for it. What I'll be looking for, just in case you guys miss it, is once we get up to this high, is a fast reversal, faster amount of time of this wave going up, and then the little 3-wave pattern, our ABC, in a channel, at which point I'd consider taking my short stop at the high. If you don't want to miss it and you're down at the 15-minute scale watching the chart, make sure you're watching the charts. But that will be the trade setup I look for after we get the target, because we'll be looking for that running flat. I'll be taking that short, and then eventually our long. That's what we're looking for. But again, this should take a little bit more time. I know I kind of jammed it in there on the chart, but it should come up to this area. This C wave can even take a while to get up here before we get those moves down. So let's see what we get. That's my current trade setup. Remember, if the trade starts to go your way and we break above this level for our A, bring your trade to break even. So it's a complete free trade. All right, guys, once again, if you want the longer term counts, I'll leave a link in the description for the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want the updates of how this trade fills out. And remember, if you're trading yourself, be careful. You never risk more than 1% of your account. That's what I do. Your decisions are your own. This is just what I am doing. I do not promote you doing it as well. These are your decisions. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe.